So last season, Manchester United actually had the 10th worst defense in the league. That actually speaks a lot about how Manchester United played last season. And if you look at the expected goal XG of Manchester United last season, we have an expected goal ratio last season of 53.8%, and we actually conceded 54 goals. That tells you that Manchester United got what they deserve. But looking at the last 3 games of Manchester United this season, we have accumulated an XG of 4.27. That tells you that Manchester United is going down the same route, basically like we went last season. And you're going to find out that both from the eye test, Manchester United has been a lot different from what the statistics is saying. And if you remove set piece from the expected goal XG of Manchester United, we have accumulated an XG of 1.91. That tells you that the set piece of Manchester United has been a big issue this season. So guys, how can this new defensive trio of Shaw, Leny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt be able to navigate this defensive issue and this set piece issue of Manchester United? So guys, let's dive into this video together. So guys, with Luke Shaw, Leny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt starting the last 3 Premier League games for Manchester United, the Manchester United fans are beginning to see more fluidity, more composure and more structure in the back line of Manchester United. And with Mazraoui returning back from injury and making his comeback against Burnley last 2 weekends, and with Lisandro Martínez recovering from his long ACL layoff, are we going to see a change in Manchester United? Are we going to see a change in this defensive trio in the next week, or are we still going to maintain this trio in Manchester United? Under Ruben Amorim, Manchester United have shifted towards a possession-based and a fluid backline, and this backline is very, very crucial for the build-up of Manchester United, as they help to create passing triangles on both sides of the pitch to help to beat the press of the opposition team. And this backline has actually brought a lot of fluidity, unlike in pre-season, unlike last season. Manchester United, there has been a lot of changes between this back three at Manchester United. This back three has really proved to be really crucial to how Manchester United wants to play, how the build-up structure of Manchester United is going to play, how Manchester United are going to stretch the opposition team. This backline has been really pivotal to how Manchester United has played in the first 3 games of this season. So guys, before we talk about all the characteristics of what this trio has brought in Manchester United and how they have made Manchester United much more comfortable in possession and out of play, let's talk about the rules of these 3 centre backs, starting with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw creates that natural balance on the left side of the pitch. You know that Luke Shaw is the player that likes to create this midfield overload, that tries to create this pressing angle, this passing angle. He's a player that likes to push up the pitch, to press, jump into tackles, to follow the strikers and wingers into their midfield position to help to cut their passing circuits or their passing lanes, and also try to recover the ball as much as possible. Going over to Leny Yoro. Leny Yoro has been looking very wonderful from pre-season up to the first 3 games of this season. He has been putting up wonderful performances. Leny Yoro is maturing into that defender that definitely Ruben Amorim would want to see in the future. He's beginning to take more risks, unlike last season. He's beginning to make more line breaking passes into midfielders. He's beginning to make wonderful tackles, to step high, to make line breaking passes in the halfway line. This is a player that's actually blessed with a lot of pace. He's very wonderful in his duels. He has been dominant in his aerial duels, in his ground duels. Then he is beginning to mature into a very wonderful defender. And he go over to Matthijs de Ligt. De Ligt definitely has been the central anchor for Manchester United. Matthijs de Ligt has been that player that has made Manchester United to bypass most of the press in our game, especially in the Arsenal game. Matthijs de Ligt made 7 progressive passes. That tells you that Matthijs de Ligt is beginning to improve to a very wonderful player. He's beginning to improve in his on ball abilities. His confidence on the ball is beginning to develop to an elite ball playing ability, unlike how he was in Bayern Munich, in Juventus and all the clubs he has been. Matthijs de Ligt is beginning to improve in his on the ball ability. He's beginning to be dominant in his area. He has this ability now to step up high, to win tackles. He has this ability now to play in that midfield pivot. We all know last season Matthijs de Ligt was not really good when he was playing with his back to goal. He was not really good in this central back position, but recently Matthijs de Ligt has been that central anchor that Ruben Amorim needs. He's beginning to play with his back to goal. He's beginning to take more risks at the center of the pitch. So this is the 3 characteristics that these players has been bringing together since they have been playing together in the last 3 games of the Premier League. So guys, we have to note that last season twice under Amorim did a defensive throw start back-to-back games, but we can see this season that Matthijs de Ligt, Shaw and Leny Yoro have started 3 games in a row, and this is very, very important, not just for their confidence but for their chemistry on the pitch, the positioning of the pitch, because if these 3 players continue to start probably 5 to 10 games together, they are going to develop a lot of chemistry, a lot of bonds. It's going to help their positioning on the pitch. When one player leaves, this one knows that he's definitely going to cover this part of the pitch. When the other leaves, this one knows that he's going to cover this part of the pitch. So they are beginning to get this on the pitch understanding. They are beginning to play more intelligently. And what's different about this aggressive defensive backline of Manchester United this season, they are beginning to take more risks. They are beginning to play more progressive passes. Many times last season, you're going to find out that the Manchester United backline, they were not refining the ball quickly enough. They were playing the ball too slow. They were buying time on the ball, which makes Manchester United to be squeezed on the touchline a lot of the times. But you're going to find out that this season, Manchester United defensive line is beginning to make more fast passes. They are beginning to refine the ball more quickly, just to open those tiny spaces in the middle of the pitch, just to slot that ball into the Manchester United midfielders. So the defensive backline, they are beginning to press more higher. They are beginning to be more intelligent. They are beginning to close the opposition attacker early, other than retreating very quickly, because you're going to find out that both in the preseason and last season, the Manchester United defensive line were very fond of returning very quickly when the midfielders lose the ball. So this is something that is not really good, because it makes the opposition team to buy time on the press and make them to make more good decisions when they want to attack Manchester United. But when you press high up the pitch very early, just like this defensive throw is doing, it gives the opposition less time. It makes Manchester United to squeeze and suffocate the opposition, and make Manchester United to be very, very suffocating for the opposition team. So this is what the defensive line has been doing so far this season. They have been really, really good. They have been playing very intelligently. They have been defending high, closing spaces up the pitch, and this is something that we definitely expect in the games to come. So even though the backline of Manchester United is actually not perfect yet, you're going to find out that there is a symmetric pattern. There is a cinch pattern that Manchester United defensive units are playing with right now. You're going to find out that in the first phase in Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, the 2 right central backs and the left central backs are going to split wide. Matthijs de Ligt is going to form a pivot with either Bruno Fernandes or Casemiro, and then Manchester United are going to play through the press, and this is going to give a lot of space to the full backs, to the midfielders, to be able to create some kind of attacking transition. And you're going to find out that so far this season, Manchester United has been so much secure in the build-up phase against Burnley, against Fulham, against Arsenal. Manchester United has been more confident in the build-up phase, and majority of the times the goals that that Manchester United has conceded this season has mainly been from set piece and not overly based on open play. I think the 2 open play goals Manchester United considered this season is definitely against Fulham and against Burnley. But Manchester United all round, when it comes to the first phase, has been rejuvenated, has been revitalized by this new defensive unit, and I'm really, really hoping to see more, because I know that Manchester United defensive unit is still a work in progress. And one of the factors that has hindered Manchester United over the past years is that a particular group of players don't play a lot of matches for longer period of game for Manchester United. You're going to find out that Arsenal had their defensive line of Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel and Calafiori, or maybe Zinchenko. They played for a longer period of time. They had this chemistry. They played for a very longer period of time for them to develop this chemistry within themselves. It happened to Liverpool, it happened to Manchester City. They had a 4 defensive unit that were playing for longer period, probably for 10 matches in a row. But Manchester United, even since the Eric Ten Hag days, we have now really had a defensive unit that has played more than 10 Premier League games together, and this is really, really bad, because the fact that these players possess similar characteristics, it is going to be very hard to bring out the best in them. So one of the ways I've been really, really impressed with how this defensive unit has played is that they are beginning to play for a longer period of matches. They are beginning to get this chemistry among themselves. Probably if this Shaw, Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt play for 10 matches in a row, you're going to find out that Manchester United system come into place fully. The Ruben Amorim system is going to become more clearer. The bigger picture is going to become more clearer also to the fans. So guys, with the return of Lisandro Martínez, which brings leadership, of course, left-footed progression, line-breaking passes, and also with the return of Mazraoui, that brings this tactical flexibility that can give Amorim the option to play him either at the right central back or the right wing back, depending on the shape during mid-games, depending on how Ruben Amorim wants to set up. I think that Definitely, we are going to see some rotation depending on the game that Manchester United is going to play. Most of the times, Lisandro Martínez is going to start. Most of the times, Mazraoui is going to start. It depends on how Manchester United wants to approach that game on a tactical level. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section. Which defensive throw you feel is going to start for Manchester United in the Manchester derby on Sunday evening? I want you guys to give me your thoughts down in the comment section. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford, as I'll be making more videos concerning Manchester United. See you guys in my next video. Ciao.